Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Commonwealth is keeping a commitment to build more charging stations. And a long-awaited announcement for a new school's location was made yesterday.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We are coming up on 5 a.m. on Friday, May 24th. Now let's go ahead and send it over to meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Olivia. Good morning, everyone. We got some fog issues again to wake up to on a Friday morning, but hey, it is Friday and we're getting into a holiday weekend, right? 61 outside our door here at WYMT, and yes, the fog is dense in a number of locations this morning as expected. Moorhead, Williamsburg, Jacksboro, Points, west and northwest as you make your way back toward Louisville. And temperature-wise right now, not bad. 59 to about 65 across the Commonwealth as the satellite weather composite shows some departing showers, Pikeville, Louisa, on into West Virginia. We get the breaks in the clouds, but with calm winds and yes, the moisture lingering, indeed, we have that opportunity to see the fog develop. Beyond that, we got a disturbance rotating through the flow. That'll come into play for tomorrow. More details about that and a look ahead through your Memorial Holiday weekend. The First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in just a few moments. Olivia?
All right, Tim, thank you. Governor Andy Beshear announced that the state has contracted private developers to build 18 more charging stations for electric vehicles. The 8 developers selected will receive nearly $12 million in federal funding. The plan is for Kentucky to eventually have charging stations located every 50 miles along interstates and parkways. The governor says Kentucky's commitment to EVs will help bring more people to the bluegrass.
That they will see Kentucky as a place where if you want to drive an electric vehicle, you can drive all over all our state parks, every part of Kentucky, and be able to charge that vehicle.
With this latest round of contracts, the state's electric vehicle charging program will have added a total of 42 fast charging stations to Kentucky's roadways. And Governor Beshear also signed an executive order declaring Juneteenth a state executive branch holiday. It names June 19th as Juneteenth National Day of Freedom in Kentucky. Juneteenth commemorates the day the last slaves in the U.S. were freed. The executive order comes after 3 failed attempts to pass legislation to make Juneteenth a state holiday. Public education advocates have created a group to stand up against the so-called voucher amendment that's on the ballot in November. Advocates gathered in Perry County to launch the Protect Our Schools Kentucky campaign. Katie Combs says they fear money meant to go to public schools will be funneled to private schools. She says this will impact staff, students, and beyond.
Our budgets are going to get even tighter and cuts are going to have to be made. How will that affect how we're able to recruit teachers then? Our students deserve the best and brightest the Commonwealth has to offer. But to keep them, our schools have to have the resources needed for them to do their jobs effectively. Our districts need to have enough money to not have to ultimately eliminate teaching positions.
WYMT has reached out to supporters of the amendment, but have not heard back. Officials with Perry County Schools have announced the location of South Perry Elementary School. The school will be built on the same property as R.W. Combs Elementary off Highway 15. Chief Financial Officer Jody Maggard says they have been looking for properties for the school for several years. He says it will be built as a new school and not in addition to the existing R.W. Combs.
It will be a completely new school. It will no longer be R.W. Combs Elementary. This is going to be South Perry Elementary. It'll have its own unique mascot, color scheme. The board is going to allow the students and staff to be a part of that selection. And it is going to be a new school. It is not going to be tied to the old R.W. Combs Elementary School. That school will be torn down through demolition.
Maggard says R.W. Combs will be torn down after South Perry Elementary is built, ensuring no one will move during the process. The Breaks Water Park expansion saw a lot of hurdles during the last decade, but even after the funding was secured, the development was nearing completion and a date for its opening was set. One more devastating hit came that almost delayed opening day. But as WYMT's Buddy Forbes tells us, a loss for the community fueled the push for the pool's opening this weekend.
The Breaks Water Park expansion is complete, and the gate opens Saturday to invite community members to splash, slide, swim, or just soak in the sun.
To actually be standing here, ready to open for Memorial Day weekend just feels great that we've finally been able to get to this point.
And though the project will be on schedule, the Memorial Day deadline now has a new meaning.
Her attitude was just so contagious, her enthusiasm for just everything, for life.
Zena Newsom was one of the park's summer staff members, and she was also one of the most excited about the new expansion. So when she died last week, the park paused its plans to remember the 17-year-old's impact.
You know, a lot of them went to school with Zena, and even the ones who didn't go to school with Zena had already developed a close bond with her because that was just the type of person she was.
Superintendent Austin Bradley says they considered pausing the pool plans until a later date, putting the decision in the hands of Zena's friends and coworkers.
Because we didn't want to put them in a position where we were opening and they weren't ready to do that.
But they decided the best way to honor her memory was to fulfill one of her missions.
One thing we kept hearing from the staff is that Zena had been working as hard or harder than everybody else to get this facility open, and that they wanted to continue on with that.
So they will give people a place to spend Memorial Weekend while serving as a memorial for the warrior. In Breaks, Virginia, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The water park opens Saturday at 11 a.m. You can find more information about pricing and hours over on our website, or you can also find the memorial story for Zena Newsom. And thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. When we return, it's the unofficial start of summer, but skin cancer experts are reminding everyone to stay safe in the sun.
And this holiday weekend, the big question is, can we keep it dry? How do things look for the Kentucky Mountain Laurel Festival as you make your way toward Pineville? We'll let you know. The First Alert 7-day forecast is coming up right after this break.